Joining us now, former governor of Virginia, any Yankees fan. They had a big win last night. Jim Gilmore, also, he's a Colts fan. Colts, Yankees, what a good day to have him on. We're live right outside of Fenway Park in Boston. Now, as a Yankee fan, Governor, I'm sure, like me today, you hate the Red Sox, right?
Well, hate is a strong word, but I love the Yankees, and the Red Sox are their hated rivals, so I'm a Yankee fan.
All right, well, I hate the Red Sox, just so you know. I have a problem with hate. I'm an Astro fan, and, of course, I hate all teams we play, especially when we're deep behind enemy lines here in hostile territory. Big win for New York last night, finally. Governor,
well,
finally somebody actually beats Cleveland.
I mean, they were out if they didn't win, and then it got to be a pitcher's duel. It was nothing. All of a sudden, Greg Bird just got hold of one and hit it up into the upper deck, and then they were able to pitch their way out of it and hang on. So we'll see what happens at the next game, but at least the Yanks are still in.
How about that closer Chapman throwing 105-mile-an-hour fastballs in the ninth inning after he came into the eighth, and he pitched, 2 innings on Friday, didn't he? So, yeah. And he's still in there in the top of the ninth against that Cleveland lineup, which is just scary as all heck. And he's throwing 104, 105-mile-an-hour fastballs at like midnight or whatever time it was. I mean, I tell you, that guy, when he's on, he's tough, isn't he, Chapman?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's good, but they've got a lot of other good pitchers as well. I think that what's really improved is their hitting this year. They couldn't hit anything in previous years. This year, they're good hitters. But look, let's get real here. They're really hot teams. The really good teams in Major League Baseball today are the Astros, the Cleveland Indians, the Los Angeles Dodgers are unbelievable. So if the Yanks can get in there and play those guys in a short series and win, more good to them. But this is a really good baseball year.
It is. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are live today just outside Fenway, going to Game 4, the Astros-Red Sox playoff game today, 1 p.m., God and rain willing. My son and I will be there full in Astros garb, hoping to get out of here with a win and get home. Mike Pence yesterday. Now, you're a Colts fan, right? Lifelong Colts fan. And you followed them from Maryland, right, all the way into Indianapolis, and I appreciate that. I'm a Titans fan. I followed my Oilers, so I really understand that loyalty to the team. What did you think of the whole debacle on Sunday with the vice president?
I just don't think that NFL players ought to be behaving in a disrespectful way towards the American flag, and therefore to their country. If they want to protest, I think they've got to do so by entering into the public discussion about whether or not police across the country are misusing African Americans, and show those facts and have that discussion. But to basically say that the United States is not a good country, to take a knee on the national anthem, I think is disloyal to the country and divisive at a time that, frankly, we're challenged from overseas. We're in danger from overseas. We're going to require American unity. I think that their enemies, the United States, would love to see disunity in the United States right now to weaken us in this crisis that's coming along ahead. So I disagree with that form of protest. I think that they ought to protest the issue, but not against the country. And I think that Mike Pence leaving is a clear demonstration on that, and I'm sort of proud that he took that initiative and was very courageous. You know, it takes courage to go against the NFL in modern America.
It really does. Governor, what did you think of Jerry Jones last night in a bad mood after Dallas blowing a game against the Packers? They had the lead. They should have won. They're unable to hang on. They're now 2-3. He's in a grumpy mood. And he says, look, anybody else kneels, I'm just going to put you on the bench. I told that to my head coach after the game. Is that real? Do you think he'll follow through? What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's an act of proper leadership. And it's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Yes.
You just haven't seen that kind of leadership out of either the owners or the coaches of the NFL. And I think that Jerry Jones saying that, while it's late, it's proper. It takes a lot of guts for the Cowboys owner to stand up for his country and in modern America today, and he did, and I think that was the right thing to do.
So, Governor, let's get to President Trump's immigration policy that he laid out yesterday, 3 principles of it. And I want to get your thoughts on it. And without going into the specifics, I just want to concentrate on the 3 principles. Principle A, secure the southern border, stop the influx of illegals coming in. Do that by putting up a wall and by increasing border security dramatically. Number 2, enforce the laws for the people that do get in illegally. No sanctuary cities, increase the number of ICE agents by 10,000, increase the number of prosecutors by 300. So if you're in the country illegally, you're going to get out. They're going to find you and get you out because you broke the law to come in. And then the third piece of it is for those that come in the country legally, have some kind of a merit-based policy the way Australia has, so we're not putting downward pressure on wages. Remember, Governor, 4 million people come into the country legally, immigrants annually. 1 million through green cards, 3 million through various temporary student work visas. So you got 4 million workers coming into the U.S. illegally. On principle, what did you make of the president's overall immigration agenda?
Well, first of all, I believe the president is addressing an issue that's of concern to the people of this country. I think the reason why he carried those states, those industrial Midwest states, is because people there are worried about this and concerned about this, and they felt that the previous administration was not addressing it in any meaningful way. So that's why he's emphasized the border. I think most Americans believe that we just simply can't have a policy that says that anybody that can cross the border or stay here because they've been granted a legal right to visit, if they just stay, that's improper. And first of all, second of all, it's against the law. And I think that his emphasis on his second point on the law is right. And then third, let me address this. John, look, you and I agree on a lot of things, but I do want to point out some things that we have maybe a little difference in tone. One is I'm just not anti-immigrant. I'm just not. I've been around a long time, and I think that the immigrants can add a lot to this country, and I know you feel exactly the same way. You just simply want to see the laws enforced, and so do I. I think the biggest problem that has to be faced, and I think the president is doing this, is this. If you have wage pressure because of immigration, it's because there's not enough of an economy going in this country. You need to have more jobs, more opportunities, better jobs for people, and that means that you have to build up the economy. The president is trying to do that with his tax reform. He has uniform opposition from the Democratic Party, including Virginia's 2 Democrat senators. An effort to build up the economy and get things going again is being resisted. I think that has been the policy of the Democratic Party for years, slow growth and no real jobs. And that has to change. And I think that the president is trying to change it. So the point I'm getting to is this. I am not anti-immigrant, but at the same time, I think that the laws have to be obeyed, and I think we have to build up the economy, and I think that President Trump is trying to do that.
Okay, so we're trying to get to the same place. You and I do have a different approach, especially in tone. I take a much more hardline approach, and I do believe they put downward pressure on wages. So on that, we can agree to disagree. But I'm going to move on to something else. On Thursday night, the president tweets out a full-throated endorsement of Republican gubernatorial candidate Ed Gillespie and ties it to an issue that Gillespie has raised in TV ads and in his campaign, which is the problem with this MS-13 gang, the havoc they're wreaking, and the fact that Ralph Northam, the Democratic candidate, voted in favor of not getting rid of sanctuary cities, therefore, you could say, not being tough on them. The president tweets this out. Ed Gillespie decides not to retweet it. That creates kind of a mini firestorm. Do you think that was the right thing for Gillespie to do? Why or why not?
Well, I think that Ed Gillespie needs to have Trump voters voting for him, and I think that he's taken some moves to try to secure that vote and make people comfortable with him. I think that it's not to the advantage of Trump supporters that Ralph Northam be elected governor of Virginia. I think that it is to Trump supporters' advantage that Ed Gillespie be elected governor of Virginia. And I think that he's running the most effective campaign that I've seen for a while. I think he's got some momentum. Now, on the issue of sanctuary cities, let me be clear about that. John Fredericks and Jim Gilmore agree 100% on that. And that is this. You can't defy the federal law. If the Congress has decided what the law should be with respect to deportations or immigration violations, individual mayors or governors cannot just simply say, nope, we're just going to defy the law and we're going to do what we want to do on this issue. We're going to defy the Congress, defy the federal law. You can't have that. As a former governor of Virginia, the lesson I learned from the Civil War is we lost that fight, and you cannot defy the federal law. This is a country of laws. And I think that people who believe in sanctuary cities and say they're going to defy the federal law are in violation of American law. Mayors that do that should not be mayors. Governors that do that should not be governors. And that Yo-Yo, who's governor of California, who says he's going to make the whole state a sanctuary state, well, that reminds me of South Carolina shelling Fort Sumter. It wasn't right then, I guess, and it isn't right now for California. So sanctuary cities are out as far as Jim Gilmore is concerned.
All right, let me ask you this. When I've had Governor McAuliffe on my show, two times I had him on, I've asked him this direct question twice. And twice he said to me, and I asked Ralph Northam the same thing, and they all gave me the same answer. They said, well, there are no sanctuary cities in Virginia, so it's not even an issue. I don't know what you're talking about. What do they mean by that?
Well, I don't know whether they've got any mayors or whether the governor himself has been in defiance of the federal law. But I think that it's suitable for these candidates to make it clear where they stand on this issue because it has been raised across the United States of America. And I think that there are some cities in Richmond that are suggesting that somehow they want to be sanctuary cities. There's no such thing as a sanctuary city anywhere in America because it's against the law to defy the federal government, defy the Congress. That's what our democracy is all about. Unless you want to overturn the Constitution, then we're going to continue to have federal officials elected to make laws in Congress. And they've made immigration law. So I think that it would be great leadership by Governor McAuliffe and Lieutenant Governor Northam to stand up for the law and to say that they're against sanctuary cities. They ought to get on that right away.
All right, we're out of time for this segment. I want to thank Governor Jim Gilmore for being with us, sharing his views on baseball, on football, on the Redskins, on the Yankees, on who's going to win the World Series. He says Yankees, I say Astros. Both of us, hopefully one of us will be right. Governor, thanks for being
John,
with us.
You're really providing a lot of leadership here. That's why I like to come on your show. You're really a rising star in the talk radio community, and I want you to keep up the good work. I think your listeners are really rallying to you. I think it's great.